Yes, 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 it is Thursday. It is Thursday. It is the 24th of March in today, because it's Thursday. Tonight you will notice to my left there is a definite lackage of a certain Keithley person who apparently is off getting his feet washed because it's Maundy Thursday. Apparently that's the day when people can't make their minds up what day of the week it is. But I am joined via a hangout, before we use those things, by my good friend Matthew Gerish. Hello Matt, how are you doing?
Hello, the fogs are clear.
I was going to say I can nearly see you. Oh, I love those daily boppers, Mara.
It's Easter, festive.
It's what?
Festive, Easter.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said your ears were festering.
Maybe.
Maybe. Alongside Matt tonight, we have the effervescent loveliness and bountiful beautiliciousness that is the one and only Sav. How are you diddling, cock? All right?
Not too bad. Can't complain.
That's what we like to hear. Signed for a new flat as well.
I did.
Excellent.
I did.
She's going dead posh. She's going dead posh. She's going to live in Blythe in Northumberland, you know.
Yeah, it's really posh.
It's amazingly posh up there. It's got a lovely harbour. Absolutely marvellous. The tall ship's race comes in there, doesn't it, dear?
It does indeed.
Isn't that marvellous? So, there we are. Now, just to give you fair warning, I am full of snot and lurgy. So if there's twin rivers of silver happen to appear on my top lip, don't shout because you'll be 30 seconds too late. I'll find out and I will give me nose a wipe and blah. It's going to be quite a hardware-centric show tonight. But I want to start off by covering a little bit of some of the stuff that's been going on, as we usually do with these things. Let's move to camera one, David. There you go. Hello, camera one. Ridian, get ready with that link. I said if we'd get to it, we're going to get to it. Now, there has been a study published by Jacob Hasselbach, who has been looking into the sociology of disruptive technologies. I'm not going to put it on screen because, quite frankly, 75% of it on there I don't understand, and I'm supposed to be a scientist, apparently. But the bottom line on it is, the bit I want everybody to read is kind of the history of the TPD and how it all went down. Because, and I'm going to bring Sav in here, well, let's go to the two-shot, in fact. You will remember, Sav, we spent shed loads of time, did we not, across in Brussels, we vapors, hundreds of us at one time or another. And if you read through this documentation, it will tell you that what happened with the MEPs, with the European Parliament in Brussels, was unprecedented. Under normal circumstances, it says, and apparently this is true, if the Commission and the Council, that is the 28 member states as it is now, the politicians from the 28 member states, like our MPs that go over there, if they agree, the Parliament generally goes, okay. And on this occasion, because we spent so much time over there, giving them jip, right? They went with what, well, not exactly what we asked for, but we made the changes over there. Excuse me. It was vapor power, was it not, Sav?
Oh, absolutely. The difference that we made was huge. May not have been perfect, but it was huge. Just to get them to actually listen. We thought that was a big step, but to actually get them to act on a lot of what was said was mind-blowing at the time.
Indeed so. Indeed so. Now, the link's there. Go and have a look at it. It's a read. It's a hard read. And the kind of bit I'm on about is in the middle. Pay no notice whatever to interviewee 22. Let's just say the 2.5 hour interview, yes, you know the fellow what done it. Take no notice of the industry thing that's on there. That it means nothing, and it's not a derogatory term or a pejorative term. It's just a term, and it has no kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, no bearing on how it all comes together. Well, please do have a read of it. It's free for a certain length of time. I don't know how long that will be. Download the PDF and save it off, then you've got it. It's a fascinating read, and I think it might help other jurisdictions to see how the wheels of legislature work and how you can disrupt what was going to be a fait accompli. Because when it comes down to the TPD particularly, they didn't think that e-cigs were going to warrant more than 25 seconds, did they, Sav?
No, thought it was just going to be a simple thing that would be sorted. They had no clue what was coming. No clue at all.
Yes. Now I've just seen that Wraith Tech has said explain interviewee 22. I am interviewee 22. I was spoken to for this. I don't know why. Do you know why, Sav?
I have no clue.
Because I didn't out much.
Oh, well, I would say that.
But yes. So yes, I was interviewee 22. So it's well worth a read. It's well worth having a look at. So click the link, save the PDF, read through it. You're gonna need a weekend. Don't spoil your Easter weekend, but it's definitely worth a read. And as I said, other jurisdictions can probably make a lot of use of it to find out how to disrupt what's going on. It's a beautifully written piece. I really am fond of it. And not for any reasons of being big-headed and egotistical, even though I am big-headed and egotistical. Now, tonight, right, is there anything else we need to cover news-wise, chaps? I can't... Oh! Australia. Right, Vince. Whether or not you've heard, I do not know, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. You may well remember that ages ago we were talking about Vince Van Hayden down in Australia, who was being done and who then appealed. Well, the appeal has failed. And apparently it's going to cost something like 300,000 Australian dollars to appeal it and get it sorted out. Now, from my perspective, having read everything that I can on it, I really, really do think that there's been some conniving and corruption and just nasty stuff going on there. That appears to have been a policy that has been applied rather than the law. And I'm going to put an appeal out to all Australian vapers. Put your hands in your pockets, support Vince, get this appeal through and make a bloody noise. Get on your hind legs and start protesting, because this is a travesty. It is ridiculous. It is completely, totally and utterly stupid. It should never have happened. It needs people to make their voices heard, no matter how shy you might be. This is a thin end of a wedge that's going to wipe e-cigs out across the whole of Australia if Australia isn't careful. That's just my thoughts. Sav, what do you think?
I couldn't say it better. It is just ridiculous, and my heart really goes out to Vince. There has to be other agendas at play here, because no, it's just shocking. Absolutely shocking.
Well, yes. I mean, they've used an area of the law that was never intended to go there, and from what I can see from the reports that I've read, the judges didn't justify their adjudication, and for that reason alone it needs to be revisited. In fact, I think it needs to be taken up in Parliament. I think somebody needs to get Parliament onto it and get them to step in, because it seems to be such a miscarriage of justice. It's unbelievable.
It is, absolutely.
Yes. So there you go. If you're watching this in Australia, you know how I feel. I assume you feel the same way. Start making a noise. We're going to start making a noise over here. And I think worldwide, every vapor, everywhere in the world needs to make a noise. If we can find a way to write to the Australian Parliament, I think we should. Let's make that, the next fortnight's task. Email the Australian Parliament. Find somebody. I've already been in touch with David Lelouch. I can never pronounce this, but I'm getting in touch there as well to see if anything can be done about it. It's got to be sorted out. It's just completely bloody ridiculous. It really is. The rest of the night, we're going to celebrate the vape, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
It's all about... Oh, I love that. Go on, get the Daily Boppers going, Matt.
There we are.
Now, I will point out at this point that you can see that Matt is celebrating the vape in there, because that's not a dodgy camera that he's using. That's his room absolutely filled with vapour, isn't it? Look, you can see, watch and see. I mean, seriously. The humidity in that room must be ridiculous by now. I tell you what, it'd be like a sauna bath. There you are, look at that. You wouldn't get that out.
But end of tonight's show, Dave, might be down to the smalls. He's getting that warm in there.
Yeah, you'll need something, mate. It's like a bloody sauna in there by the looks of it. That's Matt over there, right? And he's getting that, as it happens, out of... Well, what are you using, Matt?
This is the Griffin on a DNA 200.
So you're using that mouth to lung, aren't you?
Yeah, very much. Definitely mouth to lung.
Funnily enough, I'm trying for a seamless link here and failing badly. Mouth to lung is my preferred way of going as well. But there are people who do not. No, not mouth to lung. Direct to lung is my favourite way of going. But there are people who prefer mouth to lung, which is why I got hold of this. There are many people who, when they smoke mouth to lung. And apparently, we are, as e-cig advocates, supposed to be attracting smokers to use e-cigs for whatever purpose. In my case, I think it's to enjoy them and, as a byproduct, get rid of all of the harm. This is tobacco harm reduction, and they've got to be enjoyable, which means they've got to look attractive, they've got to work well, they've got to taste good. In other words, they've got to be better than ciggies. So there's a mouth to lung device has just come out from Aspire. It might seem like it's an Aspire heavy week this week. Well, that's just because I bought a whole load of stuff from them. So let's have a look at this piece of kit and see what it is. And it is the Aspire K3 Quick Start Kit for a satisfying mouth to lung experience. And you can pretty much see what's in the box, but let's open it, do the unboxing thing. Quite obviously I've had it out and played with it. There's the device itself. We'll just move that to one side, and you will see underneath the black flap, which lifts up, you've got, I was going to say the book of instructions, but it is a two-sided leaflet, again written in English, straightforward, warranty card, and a little warning that says, when using a new atomizer, let the tank stand for 2 minutes so the cotton can be saturated with juice before firing. Do not let the tank become completely empty. Refill the tank to avoid dry burning or damage to the atomizer, which all seems fair. Charging cable and a spare atomizer. And you probably recognise the atomizer. They've been around for a while, and we all know what they're for. And that would be the Aspire Nautilus. And here it is in all its pink glory. I shall take off the tank and we'll look at the battery first. No surprises here. It's USB charged. There is no little light on the bottom of this one because there's probably not enough room. So when it charges, you need to be watching the fire button, because the fire button's where all the little lights come, as you might expect. 5 clicks on, 5 clicks off. Try that again. There you go. And the tank. Right, now let's get a little bit closer up on this one. So here's the tank. It's a bottom fill, 4 air holes around the periphery, and exactly as you would expect, really. So bottom fill. It's a little bit awkward to fill, but if you've got a long enough nozzle on your bottle, it's not too much of an issue. And obviously you fill it up to where the top of that little chimney is. The atomizer screws in as you would expect, and that's basically it really. It's nothing different from what you would expect. You will notice though, while I'm screwing this together, that you'll see that two of the holes here and here have been blocked off by cocktail sticks. That's because, as I will discuss later, my wife found it a little bit airy for her. The drip tip is fixed. It is what it is. I can't get it out anyway. So right, let's put it together and do the old back up top and see how it vapes malarkey, and I'll talk you through the various bits and bobs. It's very, very simple, basically. Now, first thing I found when I took this out of the box and tried it was it's very airy from mouth to lung with all four holes opened up. It's doable, but it's very airy. And Jill, my wife, found exactly the same. She found it a bit airy, so we needed to block off a certain number of holes. And you can do that with a cocktail stick. It would be a great idea, I think, if Aspire were to provide little plastic blocker offerers, individual ones that you'd push in. And in actual fact, when it comes to mouth to lung, I find myself covering off the third of the hole, so there's only one left open. And I will try and demonstrate. As a mouth to lung device, it's actually not bad at all. My mouth to lung technique is probably somewhat strange these days. I tend to do multiple draggers and sucks, so it's suck down, suck down, suck down without taking it out. And that works very well. The battery is a 1200 milliamp hour battery, 1200 milliamp hours. So it lasts quite well because the default is a 1.8 ohm core coil, call it what you will, and it does work nicely. It's not over hot, it's not over cold. It produces half decent vapor, and I think if I was to put some 36 milligram in this, it would work quite nicely for me were I to need mouth to lung only, i.e. a place where I'm not going to be blowing clouds. So there you go. Very quick look. Jill's had no problems with it. She's been using it quite extensively. I quite like this carbon fibre look of it. Let's go back downstairs. The whole pink carbon fibre look is really quite pleasant. As I say, a bit airy as it comes out of the box, but it's no issue to block off the number of holes you need blocked off. There's no real drawbacks to it that I can see. From the point of view of attractiveness to new vapors, whether they're smokers or not, I think that would work. So there you go. Back to the studio. And back to the studio we are. Right, just reading through chat, there were a few pointed digs about it being pink. Look, pink is a manly colour. It really isn't it? It's a manly colour, isn't it, Matt?
Yes, it is. See, I've got pink.
Yes, exactly.
All I can say is I'm glad it's a manly colour because I wouldn't be seen dead using that.
I'm stunned and shocked, Sav. The first e-cig you got was what colour?
Yeah, it was pink.
Just saying. I mean,
it's true. I can't deny it.
Well, exactly correct. Yes, look, there's no wrong with pink. Pink is a very, very manly colour. All the very best men you will ever meet are not scared to wear pink, and that includes me. And actually, when you think about it. Pink carbon fibre. Manly, strong, everything you want. Yes.
I like the carbon fibre, yes, but the pink could have done with I don't know, a few more hues in it.
A few more what?
You mean glitter?
Oh, glitter would make it good, yeah.
Okay.
My easily distracted side, though.
Can I apologise for my two colleagues? Glitter?
Nothing wrong with a bit of glitter now and again.
Yes, pet. Fair enough. All right. There's no wrong with a bit of glitter. I'm not sure Gary would agree.
Yeah, fair point.
Yes. No, look, right. Top fill I would prefer. Yes, I absolutely would prefer. But the fact that it takes Nautilus coils, which are freely available absolutely everywhere, and in God knows how many different resistances and centre bores and stuff like that, actually for somebody to buy just to get started with, it isn't bad at all. And if you can once get past that bottom fill, you're good to go with absolutely everything. I think it's not a bad piece of starter kit. Not a bad piece at all. Now, shall we move on? Let's move on. You may recall that last week I managed to get my knickers in a twist, my arse in a sling, and my head basically shoved up my arse. Promised everybody a poem, which we called a perm, and completely forgot to read it out because I got distracted. That's why I don't read chat. So I did promise last week that I would sort this perm out, and that I would I would share this with the assembled throng. This is celebrating the vape, this is. Now, it was written by Tom E.T. on UK Vapors, who I assume must be a Geordie lad. Ergo, it has to be read in Geordie. So, I've illustrated it. I have set it to a kind of Vido, and if you get lost anywhere, please type into chat, and then when it's finished, Sav and I will do our best to explain, for those of you that do not speak properly like what us does, what it all means. How? So here we go. It's a poem called Geordie is a Vapour. Geordie saw a lassie, she was sucking on a pen. So he gans across and asks her, "What's that then, hen?" She said, "OK, I'll show you," and took him down low fell. Then she whispered shyly, "You can see my box as well." She told him of its attributes and praised it to the sky, but when she mentioned cheaper was when his lugs shot high. Now Geordie wasn't shy a walk, he watched it every day, but he always was a canyon 'cause he never had much pay. He reckoned he would cut a dash vape and ruin the tune, and what was even better, he'd have more to spend on broom. So he found himself a B&M and looked at quite a few. He says, "Oh Mara, gives that'n, and some doggy liquid too." Now Geordie took to vaping like a hinny takes to pies, and he found that he was fitter, much to his surprise. He's walking so much faster and farther 'cause he can. He had a shock the other day, he very nearly ran. A gadgie in the pub one day says, "Geordie, them is bad. I read it in the Daily Mail. Them things'll kill you, lad." Geordie picked him off the floor and tried to put him right. He says, "You like my lawyers, lad?" Had away and shite. Now Geordie's love of vaping has simply grown and grown. It doesn't cost a penny 'cause he builds his very own. A massive tube he got himself from under Old Tyne Bridge and welded in some wiring from his mother-in-law's fridge. And then he found a battery. He never was a thief. It dropped, quite accidentally, from a Mackem Nissan Leaf. For his tank he had to go by bus all the way to see him. It used to hold piranhas in the Discovery Museum. For coils he uses rusty sheets and lots of old brute force. That's why you can see daylight through the Angel of the North. His liquid was a mix of things out that he could find. Rotten apples, dead piranhas, and lots of bacon rind. He mixed it in a bucket he'd had since just a boy, the one he used to pee in when he'd been out on the high. And when Geordie took a lunger, it was heard for miles around. People said, "That's Geordie, you can tell it by the sound." And on his mighty exhale, folk couldn't keep their feet. "Gay our Geordie," they would scream, whilst rolling down the street. But though the sky was sunny, and though the day was fine, they never could see Geordie for the fog upon the Tyne. So there you go now, Hinnies. A poem from VTTV. A one I've illustrated for to share all night with thee. That was canny, wasn't it, Sav?
That was canny as out that like.
It was Git Custy Lush as an outlet, wasn't it?
Was.
They didn't get many perms like that gone out these days than us.
Nah, need quality perms anymore.
No. I'm just looking at chat and all I can see is somebody saying, well, it was Wraith Tech going, "F***ing Geordies."
Aye, I did notice that, yes.
Well, you. Dear me, it was a brilliant perm, and I'll upload it separately so it's there for folks to share about the place as much as they want to. Sav, can you please tell everybody about slow listeners up here, will you?
Oh, solicitors, yes. The reference is there is a firm of perfectly wonderful solicitors in the northeast that do go by the name of Hadway and Hadway, which would explain the Hadway and shite reference.
Yes, because Hadaway round here actually means Hadaway, go away. Hadaway, go away.
Hadway with you.
So, and if somebody says something that you don't agree with, it's pretty much get it. What? Hadaway and shite, man. Yeah. So, go forth, find your place upon the throne, evacuate your bowels, is basically what it means. And these poor buggers, I don't know where they've come from, Hadaway and Hadaway, but they must have not. Disco Des says it needs subtitles, pet.
Wait, why?
Well, I've no idea how, because I understood every word that fellow was talking like.
Every word.
There's no problem there. Could have been worse, could have been Welsh. There's a dare. Right. Here's a dare for everybody. Right, you can do this. Do a perm in your local patois, send it into her, and we'll do exactly the same what we've just did with that one. How? Would you like to translate, darling?
Yes, send a poem in your local dialect, and we shall do for your poem exactly what we have just done for the poem that has just been read out on air.
There you are. You cannot say fairer than that. I want to celebrate the vape every week if we can. Now, just to pick up on where we were a little bit earlier on, Donna Darville, who has made a couple of entries into chat while we were talking, if she's agreeable, Donna, I'd like to talk to you next Thursday if we can, please, about this. Yes? Just say yes. You know you want to, really. If you need to think about it, I'll play a bit of Ido in. And because we've just done Geordie Patois, I think it's only fair that we go to the telephonic tones. The tintillating tonsils of the Welsh wizard himself. This would be Ridian O's Courtney's jacket, man, with a piece of hardware for you to think about.
Hi there. It's time for another product evaluation, and this week I shall be looking at the latest offering from Horizon Tech, and it is the Arctic Turbo Tank. It's another sub-ohm tank, and let's take a look at the box. Let's go to the desk and have a closer look. Right, Here we have the Arctic Turbo tank, and it comes in this Perspex box with a little sleeve telling you what it is. So let's put that out of the way, and we have the tank itself, a few odds and ends and some instructions. So let's get the instructions out and have a look. So this little instruction book basically tells you how it's refilled, both in black and white and with a few words, and it also mentions something about the propeller inside. Now I'll talk about that when we get it apart. And it also includes some notes about replacing coils, priming the coils, which is always a good thing, and alternative methods for priming the coils and getting it ready for use. So that's very beneficial. Let's have a look at the back end of the box. We have the applicable website from Horizon e-cig, safety information, product description, wattage range 40 to 120, it says that it's a top fill, 100% stainless steel, and that it's got 100% Japanese cotton in there as well. So let's take it out of the box. The tank itself, if I zoom in a little, here we go. So the tank itself is 8 centimeters long. At the widest point it's 22 millimeters, and it comes with a drip tip, and you've got your adjustable top airflow, adjustable bottom airflow. The difference is the airflow on top is only on the one side, while the ones on the bottom, you've got 3 of them going around. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it apart. As you can see, I've already given it a little bit of a clean. I don't like machine grease and all that. So I'm going to take it apart into its bits and talk you through everything that's in it and various other things. Okay, this is it out of the box and in bits. So let me talk you through what we have here in terms of the tank. Right, obviously you've got your juice chamber. It's got this interesting tri-coil docking bay, I suppose, at the bottom. That will come apparent soon. And you've also got the top fill. It's very TFV4 in nature, and the filling hole looks like it couldn't be capable of using a dropper pipette in there, as well as your usual thin nozzles and unicorn bottle nozzles. Drip tip, as I mentioned before, wide bore, so it pretty much suits a sub-ohm tank, which the turbo is. We have the topmost part of the tank with a little heatsink set up here, and that fits into the drip tip, 510 drip tip, so it can fit anything else, just like that, simples. Now from the drip tip you have this chamber here. Now this chamber fits this in. It's, as you can see, this is a little propeller, it's reversible, and this goes in. Now according to the website, this tank creates turbulent clouds with maximum heat dissipation. So I am guessing that this propeller here does both of that. So it cools the vapour down and also helps create more. But in order for this to work, you have to make sure that this airflow control, which is at the top of the tank, is open for it to actually work properly. So it'll be interesting to see if I prefer it better with or without this propeller in, so let's leave it in for now. So here we have the coils, the business end, and what I think is really unique about this tank is that the coils themselves do not screw into the base of it at all. They push fit. So before I go and talk about the coils themselves, I'm going to talk about the base. As you can see, you have your 3 airflow holes there. It's not a sprung 510 connector, which would be beneficial personally. As you can see, if I push that in, it becomes flush, and then put it on the side, and then it pushes out. So when that is pushed in, along with the coil rig itself, it pushes the 510 out and it connects with the device. So that's the base itself, put that out of the way. It's pre-fitted with 3 0.6 coils, which gives an overall resistance of around 0.2. Each coil is dual parallel, so essentially you've got a sextuplet system in place. The coils themselves just push fit a bit like the rig into the base, so you've got nice quick changing coils. And if we take a closer look, be warned that I have filled it up once already. I hope you've got your juice windows there, and if I can get it to focus, there you go, you've got your atomizer descriptions there. 0.6, 3 equals 0.2, and then it gives you the wattage range as well. Now, this system is capable of doing 0.6, 0.4 and 0.2 ohms. Now, if you noticed the box before, let me get it back in. It comes with what is known as a coil model, and essentially it is one of these. It looks like, it looks like a small bullet or something, but it's just the steel outer casing of the coil. See, they're pretty much the same. Coil in this hand, model in this hand, and the only difference is that it's got the connection points on the bottom. Let me hold that again. There you go, connection points on the bottom, none on the model. So if we were to insert it into the coil rig, just like so, pop, there you go, you've got a 0.4 coil system overall. So I'm not going to put that in. I'm going to put the original coil in and show you how to insert it into the tank. Now, get that out of the way. Now, I've accidentally took a step and filled the tank up already. I got a bit eager, but I do think this is a good way of showing you how it's done. Essentially, the coils slip in like that, and then the base obviously goes on top, but I would prefer to put the coils into the base first, just like so, line up with the grooves, and then screw on. Nice and simple. And yes, I've got juice ridden hands because I filled the tank up a bit too soon. Now, what you've also got to notice is the placement of the coil juice windows. I think that is very important. I had to, I'll probably adjust where the windows sit for best performance, because the last thing you want is the windows to be facing the wrong direction and end up not getting juice through to the coils themselves. So I'm gonna take a couple of days on this and let you know how it goes. Okay, the Arctic Turbo. I've had a couple of days on this, more or less a week, give or take. I lose track of time. And what are my thoughts on it? It's really well built. I've had no leaks whatsoever, apart from the ones where I've not been paying attention to where I'm filling. So I put my hands up to that. I caused my own leaks. Performance wise, it's been really sturdy. It's coming at 0.22, which is pretty darn close to 0.2 when you have 3.6 coils, so I can't quibble with that. In terms of vapour production, does it meet what the website says? Turbulent clouds? More or less for what I would consider a turbulent cloud. The juice is 80 VG. It's a toffee one, and with the same issues that some other members of the team have been having with top airflow control. Some flavour is a little bit lost, but I still pick up that it's toffee. So how I've had it set up, it's 0.2, it is at 80 watts, which is 4.2 volts according to the RX200, and I'm quite satisfied. When I say quite satisfied, turbulent clouds is a bit of an overstatement. Obviously I prefer things with 20% flavouring, if not a bit higher. So I'm not going to get those turbulent clouds because of how I make my juice. But yeah, it does the job. It's an atypical sub-ohm tank. It does what it says on the tin. But also, you've got to bear in mind that there are other coils available out there. There is the standard dual coil setup. You come with 3 spares in the box. You come with O-rings and the spare tank in the box. I failed to mention that at the start. There are also temperature control coils available with Ni200 in them. There are Clapton coils available as well, and it's a lot of customization available. Not the same sort of customization as a TFV4, for example. They've got masses of coils. Maybe there'll be more Arctic coils brought out. Who knows? I don't. Now, regarding that propeller in the top here, I've tried it both in and out, but I prefer it in because you don't get the heat dissipation. For example, if you're actually pushing it at 100 watts or more to 120, the vape's going to get quite warm. I don't like a warm vape, I like a cooler one. So I try to keep the airflow holes completely open, and that's just for me. Yeah, it's vaping nicely. And now price time. I bought it myself for the purposes of evaluation, and it was £19.99, so I'll call it 20 quid. I've noticed other web-based companies offering the same tank for possibly 3 to 4 quid more at most. So for 20 quid, what you get in the box, how it performs, I've got no gripes. I've got no gripes at all. So this has been the Arctic Turbo Tank from Horizon Tech. I'll see you again soon. Clouds up.
That was Ridian, isn't it, Daphne, wasn't it? Couldn't it, didn't I? Bronwyn Megan. And apparently he prefers it in. I've just seen a comment in chat from DJ Reptile who said, I assume you need to make sure you use 3 of the same coils, but it would be easy for the uneducated to use 3 different and get into issues. Actually, you probably wouldn't. Ohm's law being Ohm's law, by the time you get to 3 or 4 separate devices in there, it wouldn't make that much difference. And given that you're more likely to be using it on a wattage regulated device, there should be far fewer issues. It's not something that I would think of using on an unregulated mech. Let's put it that way. The potential risks would be too high for me. Not because I'm Nesh, that's one for our Yorkshire viewers, but just because I like regulated stuff. What do you make of it, Sav? Haha.
It's a bit OTT for my tastes. Seems very canny, but I mean, I have enough problems keeping track of one coil, never mind 3.
Well, here's the question, because I know you've been fiddling about with temperature control, haven't you?
I have indeed.
How are you getting on with that?
I mean, it's very clever. I have no idea how it works. I have no idea about much, really, but it seems alright.
So you're getting on with it all right, having changed the original tank off iNote.
Oh, yes, I got rid of the tank that came with the thing and bought a decent one that actually has flavour and vapour and stuff.
So what's the decent one that's got flavour and vapour?
It's the Crown.
Why am I not surprised?
I stuck a Crown on it and that works much better than the one that came with the... I don't even know what this thing's called.
It's the VTC.
That's the fella. The only thing that confuses me on this entire thing is the atomizer lock.
Right, atomizer lock. Now, this is something I've come across quite a lot, and what I tend to do, if I'm do you find, for instance, when you press the button that it's a bit like a pig piddling, so you get temperature off, temperature off, temperature off, or less temperature?
Yeah.
What I've done, and this is a clue, is give it a couple of vapes, temperature off, pig piddling, unscrew it, screw it back on, and when it says new atomizer or same, go for new, and then lock it at the higher resistance. You might need to drop the temperature down a little bit, but what's happening is basically it's measuring the temperature increase, but it's going from what I think is too low a start point, and it just
never
gives
asked me a question.
Did it not?
Just changed the atomizer resistance from 0.16 to 0.19.
And is it still locked?
And it's still locked.
Yeah, sorry, yes, you would have to unlock it first.
Now I've got to go through 20 million button presses. Bear with.
I'm bearing with. Wraith Tech use.
Until I remember how
Yeah, sorry, yes, I got it wrong. It's the VT60. I do apologise. My apologies. Thank you, Wraith Tech, for putting me right. That's one of. I'm going to say this is one of the things about the folks in our chat. They're not scared to correct you when you get it wrong, and I quite often get it wrong. And trust me, I ain't taking the mickey here. Thank you for that, because I'm an old man. I'm feeling a bit poorly, but now we've got it right. Have you had a nice fiddle now, Sav?
I've unlocked it, I took it off, I put it back on. It hasn't asked me if it's a new coil, and it's now reading 0.16 again.
Ah, bugger. You need to vape it a couple of times and see if you can get it up to 0.19.
With it locked or unlocked?
Unlocked.
Okay.
This is science, people.
Oh, still 1.6.
Get a decent drag, pet.
I've only got little lungs.
You say that. It's not true.
I can't take too much because I actually need to drop the nick in it.
How much you got in, like?
It's only 6 milligram, which was fine in my normal sub-ohm tanks, but it needs to be dropped a little in the crown.
All right.
So
Try
die on it.
Try unscrewing it now and see what it comes back in at. Sorry if my eyes are wandering all over the place, but Sav's very close to where I am and I keep looking over there instead of looking at the camera. I do apologise. I'll look that way instead and then it looks like I'm looking at Sav.
Now it's 0.17.
Right, lock it. That 0.1 can make all the difference.
Oh, it's gone back down to 1.6.
You need to get it warm. Try and get it up to 0.2.
Stick it in the oven.
Hey, talk amongst yourselves, I'll tell you when I'm ready.
I'll tell you what we'll do then, right? I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go to another Vido. That isn't apparently all about TC. He's all about how we can subvert. Well, not subvert, but how we can use the TPD to our advantage. Have a look at this. You may remember a while ago that I posited the idea that this whole implementation of the TPD in the UK left the door open for a number of what you might call loopholes. And you may recall that I gave the example that it would be eminently possible to provide a tank that was 2 mils at the point of delivery, but for which spares were available that would allow you to take it to just about any size you like. Now, an example of that has actually landed on my doorstep this morning. I think it's probably wise to take a look at it. So let's do exactly that. And this is what's landed. It is a replacement Pyrex tank that takes a Clayto, an Aspire Clayto, from its default size of around 3.5 mils up to 5 mils. And here is the beast. Now, I shall just leave that there whilst I take a drag from my Clayto, because I want to empty the tank. I don't want to, don't want to waste juice. So I shall take a drag. And there's a very good reason why I want this to work nicely. So, well, I'm going to take it to bits and put the new thing on. It's not going to be very long, but it's going to make a point. I'll be rambling around that while we're in closey uppy. So let's go back to closey uppy. So there's the Clayto. Let's zoom in a bit so that you're not looking from a million miles away. So here be the Clayto. And what I'm going to do is just take it to bits. And all I'm going to do is take the top off. Like so. And then I'm going to empty it out, because there's still a little couple of drops in, but I'm prepared to lose those. And while I'm doing that, I shall just be taking the glass gently off, like that. And then all I need to do is to take the new glass out of its little pouch, its little box, slide it on, like so, and suddenly, there we go, and suddenly I have got a 5 mil fill. So let's give it the 5 mil fill. Oh, you'll notice, by the way, that this is leak free, because your snipe nose bottle would fit down that side, and I can tell you straight away it works. And I like to fill it all the way up. So that's the full 5 mils. I'll put the top back on, screw it down as you do, I shall go horizontal because I'm at the point where I can. And it looks very different now, I will freely admit. But that's it. It is done. It is complete. It is now a 5mm clay tool. So the thing to do, of course, is to stick it back onto my device of choice of the moment, which you'll probably see is getting some hammer. It's very rarely out my hands. You can guess what it is when you see it. And let's have a vape. So here we are. The new bulbous clay tool with the extremely large bulbous tank on it. Now takes it to 5mm. It looks a little bit strange in comparison to the sleek lines of the clay tool, but helps if you don't close the airflow control off, David. That's better. Isn't that just delightful? And that's going to last me nearly twice as long as the other one was doing. Yes, I like that. So yes, it's a spare part. It doesn't actually need to be notified, doesn't that? It's not anything other than a piece of Pyrex glass, a little piece of tube, bulbous tube, with two endy bits in the right place that screws in. So it's going to be eminently possible for manufacturers, as Aspire have done in this case, to provide something which is a 2mm tank, and alongside that, when you order it, you could be given as a free gift the 5mm glass. It's entirely up to you as a vendor, if you are one, what you do with that, of course. But if you're a producer, if you're an importer, if you're looking at stuff like that, this is what you need to be talking to the factories in China about. We have the ability to do that without anybody getting wrong, so let's just do it, shall we? There is a bonus in this as well, of course, because it does mean that a lot of people that come to the UK on holiday that are vapers might well be buying from your bricks and mortar stores, especially if you've got one in the airport. We could become the mecca for vaping in Europe as opposed to the EU. So there you go. I just thought I would let you have a look at that. It's I think it's clever. I like the idea. Great. More please. More please. Yes, more please. Sorry, panic stations, dead air there. I clicked on the wrong application. I'm not very well. Seriously, I'm surprised I'm still awake. It's, yeah. Are you any further forward, Sav?
No, it's still 1.6 and behaving itself perfectly well. So I guess my question really is, what is the atomizer lock and why do I need it?
Well, right, now, when you think about it, the resistances that are being measured are pretty damned low, right? And when we're talking about measuring resistances that are that low, a little change can mean a lot, because what we're looking at is not a massive change in resistance when the coil heats up, but every step of the way between the center post of the 510, well, not even there, actually the output of the circuit board and where the coil positive end starts, if you like, there's going to be resistance in there as well. And it's not necessarily going to respond exactly the way it should. This is an issue with how the current temperature control works. When we start talking about a thermistor, if you like, an electronic thermometer being right up beside the coil, then you're talking about something that's going to be a lot more accurate. So effectively what we've got to do really with temperature control, if you're going to use it as a way of customizing your vape rather than as a safety net, is what I'm going to say, then you've got to treat the numbers just as numbers. It's like 1 to 10 on an amplifier. So for our purposes, it's 100 to 600. Lock the coil where the number that you've dialed in works for you, and then leave it there. That's the easiest way to put it. I mean, with this, I've got to be careful which one I pick up now, because there's stuff I'm not supposed to be showing tonight, which might get busted, but never mind. So, for instance, I've got a stainless steel coil in the Rafale on this triple batteried, Relo, and I've got it set for 580, but I've locked the coil at 0.23. The initial reading on the coil was 0.21, but it's working perfectly for me at the setting that I've got. It's doing the job. It's doing exactly what I want it to do. So I'm going to leave it there. Now, I can almost guarantee that the temperature that I'm getting at the coil isn't 580 degrees Fahrenheit. It's guaranteed not to be. It might be in the ballpark, it might not. But what I do know is when I've let the tank run dry, because sometimes I haven't got my glasses on, I haven't got any burning out of that. So I know it's working in decent, you know, it's not going to do us any damage. And it's given me the experience that I want out of it. So in the current technology that we have, before we get the thermistor controlled ones, that's the way I'm working it. Excuse me, cold's kicking in. Or the drugs are falling out. I need more booze and more drugs, which I'll do during the next video. But at the moment, what I'm getting works really nicely for me, isn't burning, isn't overheating, isn't giving me burnt cotton when it goes dry, and on that basis I'm quite happy. Does that help? Have I explained it well enough?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Basically, the philosophy is the same as I've always had, that if it works and it's not doing me any damage, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. The only thing that annoys me about this is every time you push the button, you can hear, I've obviously got quite sensitive ears, it gives like an electrical whine, a hum off the board, and it ticks and drives me mad.
That's one of the advantages of needing hearing aids.
Because as soon as the display goes off, it stops. It drives me nuts.
It's obviously a timer for the display, and like I say, that's one of the advantages of being deaf and not needing hearing aids. Most of the time I haven't got them in. But I have noticed actually with certain devices that you do get a tick into the hearing aid, and whether that's...
And then you put it in my ear. I forgot I was wearing headphones. I don't know if the mic will pick it up.
No, it's not getting to me. Now, right, Wraith Tech has said resistance-based temperature control is crap. And he's not wrong. But it's the best we have available on the market at the moment in order to safeguard, for whatever level of safeguard it gives, to people who feel a little bit easier about using it. A thermistor, a proper temperature probe controlled system, obviously is going to work better. Although, Matt, you tried one that we picked up at the last
Yes.
the last expo, and it was crap.
It was. I think the main problem with it was the fact that the thermistor was inside a ceramic coil, so that was insulating it. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't giving a good reading.
It was hundreds of degrees out, as I recall.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, the bottom line on this is, this market is constantly moving. It's constantly improving. We're constantly getting better technologies in, and we need them. Let's be honest. E-cigs need to be the best they can possibly be. We want them to be as good as they possibly can be. And it's a very, very young market when you think about it. I mean, in the UK at least, 2007 is the earliest. All right, we know Bernd Meyer had his first e-cig in 2005, 11 years ago. But in the UK, really, it didn't really get anywhere till 2009. That was when the numbers really started to grow. And the technology in 2009 was very, very similar to what there was in 2007. In other words, it hadn't really progressed that much. It just changed in looks a little bit. Where we are now is, God, we were having this conversation on Twitter the other day. It's straight ahead of where we were. Absolutely straight ahead of where we were in 2009. And it's going to change in coming months and years. We're waiting from stuff from Anakin, we're waiting from stuff from other manufacturers that's got much better control over temperature, much better control over juice delivery, much better control over all different aspects of what we use. And that's great. And I can't wait for it all to come through. And I hope that with our combined efforts, we can persuade the various different legislatures to let us get on with it and just do it. You know, we don't need interference here. What we need is more investigation into how these things can work better for each individual vapour, whoever that might be. And I look forward to that. I mean, I love where we are at the moment, but the idea of it being even better than it is now, dear me, how can you not be nursing a semi when you think about... That was the wrong way to put it. How can you not be optimistic? Stop laughing, Matt. How can you not be optimistic when you think about the progress that's been made over the last, 7 years? Where is it going to be in 7 years' time? It's an amazing thought.
Yeah, it really is.
Talking about which, perhaps we need to look at something that might be of interest for people, and I hope I'm getting this in the right order. I haven't done the direct to lung thing yet, have I? No. Sorry, my brain really is fuzzed up tonight. It's the drugs and the alcohol together, and this bloody cold, and that voice you've heard. 3 days, it's killing us, it is. But I got a chance to have a look at another Aspire product. I literally put a shipping order in with them. And this is the K4, and it's interesting. It's very, very interesting. Have a look and you'll see. While I was up in Scotland, I got 1 or 2 surprises. One of which being, it would seem that more and more people, when they smoke tobacco, go direct to lung. Now, I didn't know about this. I'm a man of a certain age, and Andy Morrison, who was up there with me, the pair of us were kind of saying, nah. Everybody sucks up like a straw and then breathes what's in their mouth down into their lungs, the mouth to lung thing. But apparently more and more people now do direct to lung. Who knew? Anyway, if you're looking to get a start into direct to lung and you want a low cost but satisfying alternative, then there's a number of products out there, and I've picked on just one which I purchased last week that I thought you might like to have a look at. And this is going to be done, I'm going to try and do this in a TPD compliant way, so we can see what reviews, if you like, will look like further down the road. So let's go to Close Up Cam and have a look at the device in a TPD compliant mode. The Aspire K4 Quick Start Kit is billed as being a satisfying direct to lung experience. It comes cased in plastic, as you see. This one has obviously been used. I have refilled it or filled it, and I've been using it for a while. Also in the kit you will get a charging lead, and there should be a spare atomizer in there, but there isn't because I've used it. The atomizers provided are 2.7 ohms, as you will see just there. 0.27 ohms. Should run between 40 and 55 watts, and it is in fact a Clapton coil that's in there. Let's move the case out of the way, we don't need that anymore. Also included in the kit is a leaflet of instructions, 2 sides. It's written in English, it's easy to understand, and it tells you everything you need to know. The makeup of the kit is very, very simple. It is in fact a Claytor in black on top of a battery unit. Let's go through the battery unit first. And you can tell it's an Aspire K4 because it says Aspire K4 on it. You may not notice because it's not readily apparent, but up at the top here is the fire button. And obviously it is switched off. It's 5 clicks to switch it on, it's 5 clicks to switch it off. At the bottom is a USB charge port, and alongside the USB charge port is a little LED which lights up red when it's charging and green when it has charged. I'd have preferred that it was on the side so that the K4 battery could be stood up during charging. But having said that, I have now charged this about 6 or 7 times. I've charged it on its side, and the Claytor tank itself has never leaked. On the Claytor tank, as we know, the center conductor is flush with the outside. It's mated up to the battery absolutely perfectly. So let's screw that together and get up close and have a look for gappage and see if there's any of that going on. But I think I can tell you quite safely that there's not. But so there you have it, and you can clearly see that the atomizer core is fully marked up for what it needs. You can also see the size of the juice ingress holes that there are. The fire button is only just proud. 5 clicks on, flashes that purple colour, and then when you fire it, you get that purple as well. 5 clicks off, and it will flash purple. When you have gotten to the point where your battery is nearly exhausted, there will be a red light that flashes 15 times to let you know that your battery needs recharged. As I say, I've recharged it. It recharges relatively quickly. The look of the thing, well, beauty is as ever in the eye of the beholder. So let's have a vape on it and see how it goes, shall we? So there you are, very, very simple. It's a single button. You press it, you suck. Direct to lung, that's what it's set up for. And how well does it work? Example. And as you might expect for a Claytor, it's a monster. It doesn't half bang the vapour out. For those of you wondering what juice I've used in this, in order to demonstrate how it works, it is Muffin Man, and it says here that it's 80-20 VG to PG. So this is an 80-20 VG to PG mix at 6 milligrams. And I think it's safe to say that it works very well for its intended market. I do like the Claytor. Filling the Claytor, you will see, or you either will have seen before this video, or you will see after this video how a Claytor is filled. And yes, from the point of view of direct to lung, it does what it says on the tin. That's all. From the reviews desk, back to the studio. I keep clicking the wrong bloody buttons here, tell you what. You go out to refill the glass because your mouth is as dry as a witch's tit and then forget where you are, where you're at. What? Disco Des says that the size of my juice bottle is not TPD compliant. Does it look as though I give a toss? No, I am not TPD compliant when it comes to juice. Bollocks to that. And anyway, don't have to be until May the 20th, 2017. It's all good. It's all good. Right, where are we at? Will it mouth to lung? Lots of vendors here are not bothering with the newbies. No. You've got two choices. You've either got the K3, which is mouth to lung, and the K4, which is direct to lung. Now, I have my K4 handy. I shall go to a slightly closer camera on me, that one. And I will close off the air hurl, as one does, and try and get it down to mouth to lung level. And yes, you could get away with it. And actually, it hits quite hard like that. So you could, if you wanted, use it as a bridge device. Yes, you could bridge with it. Unlike Matt, who apparently he's not bridging anything. You're just turning everything into vapour over there. I just thought I'd show you that while he was. Oh God, look at the state of that. Look at that. Honestly, seriously, stop laughing.
But it's fun.
I know it is. We're celebrating the vape. That's what it's all about. Live.
It's kind of odd though, because you just say this laughing cloud. It's really weird.
They are on Twitter, mate. Change your name to Laughing Cloud or Cloudy McCloudface.
I will do that.
Yes, without a doubt. Right, I was gonna do a live. I tell you, on the K4, on the Cleto 0.27 ohms, 80/20 Muffin Man 6 milligram. Press the button and suck. That'll do for me. I can live with that. Right, now, I have to say this, and I'm sorry to say this, but I really am flagging. And it's not because I don't want to, I do. I'm trying to cater for everybody tonight. We've done a little bit of politics. We've done mouth to lung. We've done direct to lung. We've done Walian triple, sextuple, innuendo-filled coils. And now we've got our Mark, who's going to look at people that like to build their own coils with a Vulcan. Here it is.
Hi and welcome to Solom. Today we're going to be looking at this RDA. It is the Vector by Vulcan. It's a top airflow design. So, I'm going to have a quick talk, go down below, have a look, see what we think. And this is the box the Vector RDA comes in. You've got Vulcan at the top there. On the side we've got some logo going off. Same there. And then underneath we've got some warning, which I thought was quite interesting. Okay, inside the box you get this lovely plastic box. Quite hard, I think it's like an acrylic type box. Got Vulcan at the top there, and you've got 4 real nice magnets on there. Quite strong magnets, these. Okay, really do like that box. Okay, inside you would have your RDA here. You get some spares. We get a Allen key. We get a bag of goodies, a couple of O-rings, grub screws, and you get a spare wire mesh for your drip tip for the spit back. Okay, so just put that on there. Let's have a look at the RDA itself. Here we go. These are the parts of the RDA. It's a 3-piece part. Okay, we'll start with the base first. This is the base. Underneath you have a Vulcan 2015 and some Chinese writing. You have got your red copper contact there. It is non-adjustable, this. All it'll do is spin out your deck and that's it. Couple of nice O-rings. Got quite deep juice well in this, and on the juice well, I don't know if you can see that, you get your serial number, which is mine is 10669. The post holes are 3mm. Really nice there. Very easy to build on this, really easy. Got group screws at the top. Peak insulator. All that good stuff. Excuse my coils there. Okay, let's have a look at the barrel. Here's the barrel. It's all one piece, and obviously you've got Vector there. Oh yeah. You got 8 airflow holes at the top there, and they go directly straight into your coil, so obviously nothing from the side or the bottom, goes directly from the top. Look on the inside of the barrel. Okay, and this is your mouthpiece and airflow control, all in one piece. All in there. And the wire mesh that I mentioned earlier, which is in here, this wire mesh here, actually just fits just underneath there. I don't know if you can see, you've got like a little ledge there. Yeah, you can just see that, your ledge, and you just push that into there. I've took mine out because I prefer it without the mesh. And to adjust your airflow, really simple, just turn it here, and then you've obviously got it there, fully open. Obviously you can only have this in dual coil, you can't have it in single coil. And obviously just turn it, and it doesn't move, it's quite a stiff turn, so you're not going to be obviously spinning off anywhere. Okay, it's got a fairly wide bore drip tip. Like I said, it's got vector on the side there. It's made of 303 stainless steel, and it's supposed to be a leak-proof design. Well, it is a leak-proof design unless you turn it upside down. Okay, and then that fits. Obviously, these are a bit dry at the moment because just give it a damn good wash. Okay, so that was the Vector, oh yeah, RDA. Right, I'm going to wick this up, gum up top, give it a vape, and I'll tell you what I think. Okie doke. The Vector. Okay, so that was the up and closey of the Vector, oh yeah, RDA by Vulcan. So what do I think to it? Well, I'm quite impressed with this RDA, I must admit. It is quite a nice little flavour chaser. I was well impressed. What with obviously the airflow coming from the top, I wasn't expecting that. But it is absolutely a cracking little RDA. The design of it, I absolutely love it. The only thing that I don't like about it, and is, if you know me, metal drip tip. I wish that they would or had in the spares a Delrin version of the top drip tip and airflow. That would actually be brilliant for me, because it does get, I mean, I've got a 0.2 on build in here, and it does get quite warm at times, especially if you chain vape. So besides that, that is the only flaw I can find in this. The deck itself, nice and big to put interesting builds in there. Obviously, it being a 3-post design, yeah, you can fit some nice unusual builds if you want to do that. It's supposed to be leak proof. Well, it is leak proof. It doesn't leak this way or that way, but I mean, obviously if you turn it upside down it will leak, so not quite that. But besides that, I really do like it. I mean, how does it vape? It vapes really, really well. The airflow control, like I said, you just turn it either way, and I've got it on 6 holes, or 3 on either side if you want to call it that way. And I just think it's brilliant, I really do. What I had to do though was take out that spit guard. There was a spit guard on the inside I showed you earlier. It was like a wire mesh that you just shoved in. And to be honest with you, I've never had any problems with the spit back. Only time that I've had it is if you've over dripped, and then obviously it gurgles a bit. I took that off because obviously the flavour was slightly muted with it. But since I've took the spit guard off, it is worked fine, absolutely fine. I really do like this little RDA. I really do. Like I said, the only downside for me on this RDA is the drip tip. I do believe that they do a replacement top where you can fit your own, but I've got it in gunmetal, and they only do it in stainless steel as far as I'm aware of. But if you know of anyone that does a Delrin version of this top cap, please let me know, because I would love to have a Delrin on this. Okay, so that was the Vector RDA by Vulcan. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I do really appreciate it. And as always, happy vaping.
Oh, we were talking.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry about that.
My excuse is the fact that I'm not well. That's what I'm going to say. I don't even know which camera I'm looking at, but it doesn't matter. Yes, we've tried to cope with everybody tonight. Coilers, sub-ohmers, mouth-to-lungers, and political types. And it's been, I think, a fair array of all of them. I would like to reiterate, Red, if you can drop that link back in, please. Go and have a look at this study. There's a lot of it that's hard reading, but I do really want people to understand what the various different advocacy groups do is important. Because without the various different advocacy groups, and I count VTTV amongst them, we wouldn't be where we are. There's been a lot of work done up front and behind the scenes to get us where we are today, and I honestly think that's fabulous. There's been a lot of hard work done by a lot of good people, and I would just like folks to grab onto that. It's all good. Is there anything we need to pick up from chat, Sav?
Now, there was something you said we need to address that, and I forgot what it was you said. Ah, why we're not mentioning the prices anymore.
Ah, yes. Right, now, when we get to May the 20th, you'll be able to go down to your bricks and mortar online, wherever, and order what you'd be able to order on May the 19th, May the 18th, and tomorrow. But the rules on advertising and communications hit at midnight on May the 19th. So a minute past midnight, i.e. a minute into May the 20th, everything changes. So in order for us not to be promoting anything, we will not be mentioning prices. Now, there is no problem with people doing what they've done tonight in chat, which is to bugger off and come back and say it's $34.99 or it's $22.99 or whatever it happens to be and typing it in. That's great, because that's not us. So we can't be accused then of promoting anything. So we won't be mentioning prices on kit, on juice or anything else. What we'll have to do is to just give you the facts, and any opinion that we share has got to be factually based. So we can say if something doesn't work, if it doesn't say what's on the tin, we can say it doesn't do what it says on the tin. But what we've got to be very careful that, I'm going to be honest about this, right? There are people out there, I'm not going to mention the names of anybody, like Martin McKay or Simon Capewell or any of them, that will be looking to get us taken down. They'll be looking to have us in court because they want to say that we're promoting. And we can't allow them to do that. So we've taken all of the steps, we've looked at everything that's said in all of the legislation, and we will be bringing factually based informational videos to you. That's why we're doing what we're doing. And I just wanted people to be aware that we're not being silly or out like that. We're just making absolutely certain that we are still here to serve you. Because at the end of the day, the most important person in the whole of the vaping community is you, the vapor. That's who we care about. That's who we fight for. That's who we serve. You are why we are here. Anything to add, Sav?
No, that's exactly it.
Good.
No point us being here without them. And they're all awesome.
Oh, go on, say that again. Sorry, I switched off you.
They are, every single one of them, absolutely awesome.
I would just like to add, they're incredibly good looking as well.
Yes.
All of our viewers are the best looking viewers.
I'm going to ask you a question, Matt.
Yes.
How in God's name can you see them through that fog that you're sitting in?
It's special fog.
And that brings us hurtling to the end of the show. I look at the studio clock and see that it's actually 10 seconds past the hour of 10 o'clock. We've run over, but I don't care. Look, here's how many shits I don't give. Look at them all in my hand. There's none. I couldn't give a monkeys. Thank you for spending the last hour and a half with this incredibly poorly old... I've got both feet in one sock. I have. I'm waiting for somebody to come and rub my chest with Vic, but apparently she's tied up as well. Thank you for spending the last hour and a half with us. Thank you for celebrating the vape with us. It is so much appreciated. You don't know how much we appreciate your presence. So until we see you, actually until I see you, because there is no show on Bank Holiday Monday, so until we see you next Thursday, from all of us here at VTTV Towers, thank you for watching, and, are you ready lads? Vape on! Vape hard, and let us all celebrate the vape. Until we see you next time, take care from all of us here. Bye bye.